Sharon, about like the Game of Thrones thing, like yeah, whenever there was like an asshole character, they always somehow managed to survive, which
Yeah,
always kind of annoyed me. Like I know the point of the show was that it was supposed to be a bit more like realistic. Anyone could die like
yeah.
any time, and the bad guys don't always get what they deserve. But I thought like The Witcher, well, the new season was quite nice because it felt like whenever
Don't spoil,
no, there won't
please.
be a spoiler, but it felt like whenever people always got their comeuppance, like I'll put it that way, like
Okay, I don't know what that
and
means though.
yeah, comeuppance. That's
What
my.
does that mean?
It
What is
means
that word?
people get what they deserve, and
Okay, that's
it felt
nice.
satisfying. Like after having Game of Thrones be like the fantasy genre, people don't always get what they deserve.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. The most annoying character for me was that guy, um, Ross Bolton.
Oh yeah, Bolton. Yeah.
Bolton, yeah. Ramsay Bolton, yeah.
Yeah.
Rams.
Battle of the Bastards.
Oh my God, I felt so good. Like, it was so much satisfying watching that episode, the Battle of Bastards. Getting him hit on the face was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel psychotic, but yeah.
Are you recording at the moment?
Well, I
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't, but I started as soon as you joined, but we weren't really
Okay.
because we hadn't really been talking about anything good. Just like spoilers because I watched the new Spiderman today, so we talked about that.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
You seen it, Markom?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
liked it. Very, very good.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
that's
was,
nice.
it was good. So when my wife went and saw it, she was saying that like when the other two guys rocked up, like the whole cinema erupted in cheers.
Yes, yes.
When I watched it, everyone was just kind of like just focused. It's like,
What's
Yeah.
wrong with people? Oh my God.
Well, everyone was quiet in mine as well. I keep saying this to Charon because it's very different in India because everyone screams all the time, like in the cinemas.
That is the point of going to theaters.
But no, in
we want to
England-
scream.
No, in England, we're all very quiet because we don't want to
Yep.
disturb like anyone else's experience of the cinema.
Oh no.
yeah.
They want to see the film. They want to listen to the dialogue. If we're excited, we're kind of like we're quietly yay, like yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so much energy, dude. Like I can't. Okay. Let me explain. Let me explain it to you. If you want to watch it quietly, you can watch it in your home. You can wait for a while. You can watch it in your home. But we are going to movie theaters to enjoy, to have fun with all the fans, because we all are going to just go to theater to enjoy. As I was telling, okay, Markham, let me tell you this. In India, most people don't go to watch the movie. They go to watch the actors. Okay, they go for the actor. It's not for the movie or anything.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, obviously, if you know the actor, if he's a famous actor, it'll get more people. He'll draw more people towards it. Obviously, if the movie is good, they'll say it's good. If it's bad, they'll say it's bad, but they'll never say the actor did bad because
Yeah.
they go for the actor. So
Yeah.
whatever he does, if there's something new that he does, because we have watched him for so long, for 50 movies of his already. So we know if he does something new, it's gonna excite us. It's like, okay, this is new, so we're gonna shout, we're gonna cheer for him. So it's awesome, and the whole fan base have the same feelings. The too much energy. It's like mass hysteria. It's awesome.
I'm sure there was a lot
You
of
should- you should-
screaming for this one, considering the amount of people in it.
Oh my God, I know, right? It's just that remember what happened for Thor when he came to the in
when he ended up in Wakanda.
yeah, when he ended up in Wakanda. Do
Infinity
you remember
War.
the reactions
Yeah.
from India?
Yeah, I remember
that
those
is-
videos.
Exactly, and many people like Thor, obviously, in India, because he's a little bit more comedic. If anything, more comedic, people love it. I mean, at least I love it. But Iron Man is like everyone's first preference, and you should see people actually cried, okay, in theaters. I think you guys do as well, or else is it disrespectful again? I don't know.
Well,
Correct.
people cry in the cinemas, but they cry quietly.
What?
Yeah.
So I used to work in a cinema, and I remember when Marley and Me came out.
Oh,
Oh
right.
my god!
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Like waiting for everyone to get out of the cinema so I can clean it, but just they're all just crying. It's just like, oh come on, man, get out. I've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity. I saw a few people pass out.
Oh
Really?
no, that's like
Yeah.
the worst movie. I mean, like, it scared me. Okay, that's what I mean. It's not like
Mr.
worst.
Paul, welcome.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Are we recording?
But we are at the moment, yeah. But
Oh, okay, cool.
we
If I
weren't.
have
We
to
weren't
bug
to.
out, I have to
Yeah,
bug out.
we weren't to start with, and then I started when Markom came in. It hasn't been very productive, and it hasn't been very
No.
Blender related. It's just all been about films and like
Films,
shows
yeah.
and
It's
stuff.
been so
Oh,
long since we
please
caught
keep
up.
going.
So we talked about Spider-Man mostly because I watched a new one today. And
Oh, damn it, I got hands on.
don't worry, we won't.
I can just take them off but not hear you.
No
I mean, why am I
spoilers.
doing this?
No spoilers anymore. We'll
Yeah.
shh.
Yeah.
But then like Game of Thrones, Witcher, Expanse, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Have you
yes,
watched
I'm up-
Expanse
I'm up.
anyone?
Yes, I'm up with my Expanses. One more episode of season 6, and I'm like, how are they gonna do this? I've read ahead, and I know what the books are gonna bring, and they're bringing this storyline in season 6, which I know where it goes
But
in the
it's
future
so
books.
good.
I'm like, but if you're gonna shut off the series for TV here, why are you bringing that in? That
Yeah,
ties directly into a plot point that
continuous.
catapults the next books, and I'm like,
Yes.
is it going to leave it open-ended? Are they just going to turn around and say, surprise?
Surprise. I hope, okay, I hope it is a surprise. Come on, dude.
I'm on
Come on.
I'm near the end of season 1, so
Don't even talk.
no,
Don't even talk, okay? Yeah.
Sharon gets annoyed because
He skipped through episodes, okay?
No, I
That's
don't.
what he said
I
to
haven't
me.
skipped episodes, but what I do is because it's quite slow in season 1 from what I've seen so far, and there's some characters and some bits of dialogue where I'm like, okay, I can tell we're not going to learn anything for like the next 2 minutes, so like I'll skip some of the dialogue sections. But it's only for like certain characters, like the detective guy, sometimes, because like some of his segments are a bit like, okay, I can tell we're not going to get like any new information for like, I'm just going to go ahead a little bit. And it's fine. I'm still enjoying it, but
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love the space stuff,
Yeah,
it
I
is
like
so
the
much
space
into
stuff.
reality. Like, I mean, it actually makes sense. It's not like, this is the loophole, that is the loophole. You won't know because, it all makes sense. And, oh, God, I can't wait for you to watch season 2. Oh, God, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2 is the turning point.
I can't spoil it at all.
I know. It's I was about to, okay? I was gonna talk about this character, which I think even you love. But still, god damn it. I'm gonna wait for that, Curtis.
I like the space
okay.
scenes. I like the diplomatic talk. I like some of the combat stuff and the technology and mystery parts of it. So, yeah, I like all of that stuff.
I think I'm gonna watch The Expanse again. I don't know. Like, I just think it's gonna be worth it.
I started playing The Witcher 3 again after watching the season 2.
Nice.
That's quite fun. But my god,
I
that game is so long, though.
Don't like it.
What?
So good.
Do you?
I just I don't know. I got up to the bit where he has to fight the like the owlbear with wings thing, and I just don't like the controls. I don't like how it moves.
Yeah,
I don't like the interaction.
One of the main complaints, and I do agree with it, is that it feels clunky. And like when you go back to it like a second time, you're like, oh my god! Like I'm trying to move over here, and like Geralt does like some weird sidestep, and he kind of goes off, and the animations are a bit odd. But like the first time through playing it, when like you're so like interested in the story, and I wanted to see kind of like what's out there in the world, and like the story really does get like really amazing, and there are some of the best quests I've ever seen in video games ever, like are in The Witcher 3, but they are a bit like later on, so you need to kind of suspend your disappointment for some of those features. But yeah, I get it.
I really wish like all good games are like VR, but like a very stable VR. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, you get it.
Yep.
VR stuff, I love it, but I do get a bit motion sick.
Oh, you don't have VR legs yet?
No, not yet. But the thing, it's the motion type where you're not teleporting, you're just moving. Like that does my head in so bad.
Oh, I'm fine with that. There's only been one game. Been one game where it's like knocked me out all day, and that was Air Car. And that's kind of like when you're in your cockpit and you're flying around. And I remember I tilted forward one time to look at the ground, and I just went whoop, and then I was out for like the whole day. I just felt sick.
Oh my god.
But yeah, running around perfectly fine now.
Right.
So it's kind of like having your sea legs or VR legs.
Yeah, I mean, I get motion sickness. We'll see. I'll probably need like daily practice.
I get motion sickness after playing regular video games. I'm just really hypersensitive, and so like VR, I'm like, I want to, but I'm just gonna get like headaches, and yeah, I gotta go. I gotta have a lie down for like a day. It's like coming down from a really big night or something.
Yeah, the thing is when it's smooth, when it moves with my motion, so because like those weird motion controls where it's like it's pushing you forward, there's no like ramp up in speed, you're just like 0 to 100 speed and it's just like flinging you like through the world, and it's so unnatural. That's way too weird. But if it's just like me moving through normally, or the teleporting's fine as well, because you know you're just blinking out of existence and re-emerging and you're still looking around, like that's all fine. When like you can see horizon level, you know, that's fun. I like playing a game called Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. It's like this. It's like a weapon simulator one. It's got these really fun kind of firing ranges, and the whole thing about it is that when you're going through like these weapon courses, they're like AI hot dogs, like hot dog robots, and they like stand up and they move around with guns. It's quite fun. Elite Dangerous is a good one as well, the space game, but that one is again a bit like motion sickness inducing. But you get like a fantastic sense of scale.
Half-Life Alyx is the best VR game.
I haven't tried it yet. I really want to though.
You have to try it.
Yeah, I will do when we get more space. I'll try
because
And then
that one is just, they've designed it so well. It is so beautiful. It is the worst when you're in pitch black and you've only got a torch in your hand and you just hear. I haven't finished it because I just couldn't play that bit anymore.
Oh man. I've seen stuff about like them spending so much time on the interactive elements of it, like, you know, all the ammo and whatever. And there's stuff like near the beginning of the game, I think, where people are like writing like on like chalkboards and stuff, or like on the window, and like fluid stuff in, you know, just picking. Yeah, it looks like really cool.
Okay, Markom and Paul, I have to ask you guys. Like, I mean, I've been watching some sitcoms, and you know, like I started watching Modern Family. Before that, I was watching The Office, and before that, Friends. But I have never heard of any Australian sitcom yet. Is there anything that you could recommend, or is there any one?
Well, I don't watch much TV anymore.
Okay.
You can go the classics of Home and Away and Neighbours, but you got a bit of catching up to
They're
do.
not exactly
30
sitcoms, but I guess.
I mean, like, I never heard one, so I'm just curious, like, you know.
We get all the
there
Australian
one?
ones over here as well. They're quite popular.
I would have to ask my
We
wife.
we have TV shows, yes, that were made in Australia, and then, but like, yeah, we buy a lot of stuff. It's just one of those economic things, and we always have, you know, always trying to lobby for more Australian content and stuff like that. But we get this thing, and I'm not sure if it's as prominent in other countries, called cultural cringe. When we hear our own accent on TV, we're just like, you know. And so when Australians try to be funny, we do have a particular sense of humor, but people just like ramp that up to 11 whenever they're trying to do it in Australian, and they try to go super, super jingoistic, super Aussie, and like, I barely know anyone who really relates to that sort of humor. Exactly. I mean, you know, we could really crank it up, and you know, Markom, you bring it out brilliantly in some of your stuff.
Yeah.
But like, whenever I see Aussies try to do sitcoms, it's just like, yeah, how's it going, mate? And open up a tinny, and yeah, let's have some Fosters and a pie. Yeah, let's watch the footy. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've ever done that.
I think picture Kano from Mortal Kombat. Have you seen Mortal Kombat? I'm like, I came out of it and I'm like, the best Australian film ever.
Oh man.
I did like the Australian accents in Pacific Rim. They were so god awful. And And I was just entertained. I was like, no, do the Aussie accent again. It's so bad. I want to hear you really mess it up. And so I was just in for that.
Especially like when I hear Indian accents in TV shows, right? I just feel so like we don't do that, please. We don't do that. Like, I mean, I get you guys, okay? Like,
Yeah.
it's not at all like no reckless. They, as I said, they'll ramp it up by 10 times or something, and it's just cringe, and it's really
It's
cringe.
just because I think we're just so used to the American culture
Yeah.
that hearing anything outside of that is kind of like,
Okay. Yeah.
I need to make an animated short, and I want to do it with 2 Stormtroopers. I'm trying to come up with an idea. Because I want Stormtroopers, because then I have to do facial animation.
Talking about facial animation, Omniverse has one, right?
Yeah,
Did you
audio
see
to
that?
face.
Audio to face, yeah. Maybe you should try that.
No.
It's gonna.
I need to pump something out within a week.
You can. Like, it's super good. I was like actually looking into Omniverse today. I mean, I'm trying to build up a pipeline for my own shot, like, some portfolio shots that I'm working on. So
rendering
do you
in
have
Blender
the gag,
is,
Marco? Do you have the idea?
I don't have
you
anything.
don't.
That's
Okay.
the thing. I'm trying to think
Right.
of like,
See, it always comes down to they can't shoot straight, and I've done a joke that's pretty blue in one of my comics. It was a Father's Day comic, and it was basically like the dad. Can I say this joke? I don't know if I can. Maybe I'll cut it out if I'm the editor. I'll cut it out. Basically, Father's Day, his daughter and his wife give him like Star Wars pajamas. And it's like a Darth Vader t-shirt says, "I'm your father." He goes, "That's cute." And then it's Stormtrooper boxer shorts. He's like, "Oh." And they're like, "What's wrong? Don't you like him?" He goes, "Well, I like him, but who's going to believe the shirt if the pants are saying I can't shoot straight?" Boom, boom. Just, yeah.
There we go, dad humor. It's his target audience.
Yeah. I'm laughing at Markom, okay? I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
I've killed Marco, damn it.
I'm literally picturing like male Stormtrooper, female Stormtrooper, and then little Stormtrooper doing this.
Okay, maybe you should do this.
Andy, where did I come from? He's like, funny story, and then that's it, yeah.
I reckon I might be able to do that.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, it's gonna take that one.
Oh my god.
Funny enough, I did just buy Marvelous Designer as well. So.
Oh wow, awesome.
Dude, I got it. Forget the shoot straight thing. They were wearing helmets, right? And she's just given birth to a Stormtrooper, and obviously he comes out in full Stormtrooper uniform. And the dad's like, "He looks nothing like me." Okay.
Yeah, I quite like that. And he gets like really just.
Can you mocap a baby?
I could pull something.
No, just mocap like a human male, but like just scale things down a bit and just make it a bit weird.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just
That's
picturing
hilarious,
a scene
okay.
with like 5 Stormtroopers now.
And
5 Stormtroopers. With 2. Now we're up to 5.
I wonder if anyone has actually done this before. But wait, no, what you're saying about the idea of like the baby comes out and it's just like a full Stormtrooper, and he's like, "It looks nothing like me," and then cut to like a Dr. Phil type thing where they're doing a DNA test, and it's just like the 2 possible dads, and they're both identical Stormtroopers. And it's just like this whole played up thing. Oh, how could you? But just they're all exactly the same, so it doesn't make any sense.
It will take off in Star Wars subreddits, okay? Trust me.
Like, can Dr. Phil also be a Stormtrooper but with a moustache?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of funny. Markom, do it, please. Oh, you're the only person who can do it too. Within a week.
I think I can do it.
I wonder if someone's probably done something like that already. I don't know.
Probably, but who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Stormtrooper DNA test.
Are you googling it?
Is it canon that the clones? I mean, or did the new movies kind of say, well, they were clones, but that got too expensive, so we just started hiring the rabble? street urchins and stuff.
It's alright. Well, I haven't found anything on an immediate search, so I think you're in the
Yeah,
clear.
I think you're good. Yeah.
Oh, I got called. Or someone said my face is pretty soy on a comment, which was
What does
pretty
it
funny.
mean?
Well, I'll give you the Urban Dictionary. Well, you know,
Oh.
like, well, you know, PewDiePie, soy boy, soy boy.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So, okay, used to describe males who completely and utterly lack all necessary masculine qualities.
Oh, how is that? And why would someone comment that on your video?
Oh, I don't know. They said they were joking, but you know, I'm kind of going for that anyway because you know I shave
Yeah.
as often as I can as well.
Yeah, me too.
But Marco just shaved like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, broke it up.
Lucky. I don't have that gene. It's going to take me a week to.
It's called laziness.
Yeah, it takes no effort to
Did anyone else suffer burnout last year, or was it just me? I think I've ended the year like looking at all your amazing stuff, just going, I can't even. Yeah.
I'm in that
no,
at the
I'm gonna
moment, so
I got burnt out a lot,
really?
by the way.
I always have the thing where it's like, you know, too many ideas, not enough time to make. But with that being said, yeah, there came a point near the end of the year where it was like, I either was or I wasn't going to do the NVIDIA sponsorship thing. And I hate doing sponsorships, usually because any small, like, oh, please change this really pisses me off. Because, like, you know, I've got so many other things I want to do myself. Like, every change I have to make is, like, taking a time away from my own stuff or doing the things I want to make. So it really, really takes me off. But I ended up doing it anyway. And it was a 7-video agreement, which is a lot, like, a lot of videos. So I really committed to it, and I did it, and I powered through it. But just before I started as well, because it was really unsure whether I was going to do it, because I had some disagreements with like the actual agreement. So I sent them back like what I wanted changed, thinking that they wouldn't really agree to all of that. So I started like announcing the Biogen update, which is like a huge project. And as soon as I announced that, they said, "Yeah, all your critiques about the agreement, we'll change them for you." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I was like, "Okay, Biogen update, 7 videos," and then like end of year break, I went away with the family on holiday, so I didn't really have any time to stop or like think or like try and be creative. And then it was just like all of this work. So. But like I kept coming up with new ideas at the time for new videos, but I kind of didn't feel like, or I didn't even have the time to try and explore them. So it was like a different kind of burnout. It was like you're still doing work and you're still being productive, but like it's exhausting you, like creatively, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I don't really want to go back to that. I just want to kind of like relax it, you know, not be. I'm not going to sign up to any like new long agreements like that. I'm just going to go with the flow for a little while and let it kind of like come back.
So where are these videos? NVIDIA videos? They haven't been released yet.
They have been released, yeah. If you go to my channel, there's 7 videos with a green ad in the bottom left of the thumbnail. And so
they've been sponsored by NVIDIA.
Yeah. So the way that it goes, or the agreement that I had was within the first like 30 seconds, you give them their announcement. Then throughout the video, maybe suggest some things that NVIDIA Studio could be useful for, and then there's a reminder at the end of the video. And the agreement kind of changed throughout the series because, you know, they're kind of giving feedback, and I was okay with that because like some of the changes were good in a way, like good for me to edit, and some of them I didn't really like, but you know, they were open to discussion. But in the end it ended up being okay, well, let's add some comedy sections like for the sponsorship, which I was actually much more happy editing because it felt more genuine doing it in a comedy way. So the last 2 videos have like proper comedic sections in the middle. So yeah, it was like one of them is me talking about, do you have GPU deficiency, like, and kind of doing it like a kind of medical ad for a joke.
Yeah, no,
stuff like that.
Awesome.
So but yeah, it was okay. But yeah, when I look back, I look at it like 7. You signed up for 7 videos? Like, are you kidding? But it did get the new. I got a new computer for it, so That's for the new studio. So that's
Oh.
okay.
You got a 3090.
Nice,
What else do
nice.
you need? Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to admit so when we were doing our negotiation, right? They said we can get you a new computer with like a 3080 in it. I think it was 3080.
Yeah, 3080. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
perhaps 3090. And they said yes. So yeah, that was fine.
If at all, if they
That is
ask me,
real
right,
nice.
I would just take whatever they give. I'll be like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even question back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm allowed to like talk too much about in the detail of about the terms and stuff. But I don't think they really mind that much.
Sponsorship stuff is kind of cool. Like I've done one product recently because they upgraded it and they did a whole Kickstarter thing. But instead of sort of doing it like a sponsorship thing, they sent me the device and then I had to do a video sort of detailing how I used it and what I used it for. And that was kind of fun. I mean, like, it doesn't get a lot of hits. I mean, it's a product placement on a YouTube channel. It's,
Yeah.
you know, barely over 20,000 subs, but they reach out to a lot of artists. So they've got a really good sort of marketing plan. Yeah, look, I actually enjoy using it, and then, you know, I put up stuff on Twitter and things to sort of show, hey, I'm using this on this project and whatnot. But yeah, it does take it out of you. Like you had to do 7 videos. I had to do one at the point where I'd just come off a really big job, and I'd sort of forced them to put an end to it. I was like, guys, we agreed on this many months. It's now 2 months over. The budget hasn't moved, and I've got to get onto other things because I've got other stuff scheduled. And they were all very apologetic, and they said, okay, look, yeah, we'll cross off a bunch of changes. I basically knocked that out. It still hasn't gone live. It's had like a soft launch. And then after that, you know, I was back on CG Cookie stuff, and it was almost like a break just to sit there and just draw. But even then, I was like, okay, I've got to take a couple of weeks off. We've got the holidays coming up. Kids are going to be around for a lot longer. And yeah, it just, it's, and so yeah, now I'm just thinking, okay, I'm trying to get back into that work mode because I've got a lot on my plate for this year and I want to get it started. But it's almost like trying to get out of that mental fugue of, okay, yes, I was burnt out. I was relaxing. I was doing nothing. And now I've just got to ramp it up again. There's a lot of organizational time. You know, do you ever, does anyone else do that thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to take this week. I'm just going to plot it out. I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to spend Monday on this client, and then I'm going to set up a meeting with blah, 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 and whatever. And then you've got to get the ground running the following. No?
I do a little bit. Like, sometimes stuff gets so messy where it's like, okay, well, tomorrow I'm just going to disseminate patterns from the noise, I guess, if that makes sense. Where it's like I look at all the things, all the tasks, and I'm like, okay, let's tidy up the Trello, the ClickUp. You know, let me write down what I actually want to do. Like, first of all, I try not to plan things on days and times because my sense of time is so skewed, right? Like, I work in very short but very, very productive bursts, and I know that, like, if I say, oh well, I'm going to do this in like several hours time, then like I could definitely do that like right now, like here and then. Like the time in between will just like disappear because I'll find something else to do. So I just work when I feel like it. But yeah, there's definitely like some moments where I stand back and I'm like trying to filter through and like piece things together just to make like better sense of it mentally. I think actually going away with the family over like Christmas and New Year was probably quite helpful after like that massive, you know, super organized like productivity blowout or whatever, because it kind of let me look at all my like ideas and the things I wanted to do and kind of think, okay, well, now we can move away from that period and go on to this. Hey, Arturo. Oh, we can't hear you at the moment.
You're muted.
The mute symbol. Drats, damn
Oh,
it.
you do have lovely hair.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year. Thanks,
Happy New Year.
Marco. At all.
I cut mine off. It was just going this way, not this way. So yeah,
All right.
it was crustying.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Even Arundel cut his hair, and I'm disappointed.
Oh yeah, that was quite impressive. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
interesting seeing him with short hair now. I never thought I'd ever see the day.
I'm not used to
Yeah.
it, but yeah, it's kind of nice.
I had some weird derealization issues, which I've never really had before. Like, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, and I got quite concerned about it, but so I looked it up, and apparently it's a very common thing. But like, my sense of time was way off. So like, things that happened yesterday felt like they happened like a week or two ago, like while I was out there. Part of that is to do with jet lag as well. Apparently, that can spur it on, and also part of that is like where you really don't feel like you're in the present. And I feel like I have some kind of attention problems, like usually anyway, so I'm always daydreaming. But this was like really, really weird in the way that you're watching yourself almost in the third person. So, because I remember a point where it like got really bad, where like I was walking up the stairs and daydreaming, and kind of like the distance to come out of that daydream felt really long. So like I finished daydreaming and I'm like watching myself walk up the stairs, and I'm like, okay, I can see I'm walking up the stairs. I want to take control back again. It's like you spend a much longer time moving back towards like the focus before you're back in it again. It was very, very weird, but yeah, I got over it. And I feel like part of that was to do with coming out of like that whole like automatic productivity stress period of like the last 2 or 3 months doing like the sponsorships and the update and all of that, and then suddenly jumping into like this jet lag, different location, like weird time zone, complete like different sense of time as well, because when you're working on the computer all day every day, like time compresses. Now all of a sudden you're in an environment where you're doing stuff every day, so it expands again. So I feel like it was like a shock to the system. So yeah, but coming back home, everything's back to normal again. So
Did you get the come down like after the holiday? Like you sort of back in the swing of things?
yeah, really weird emotional change as well. Again, something I don't really have, because like when you're in your home, like you have a feeling of what home is. Like it comes with a set of like standard emotions. You don't really like think about them, I guess, on a day-to-day basis because it's just your routine. But when I came home after that, it was a bit weird because I was like, I don't feel like I recognize this place. Like laying in bed at night, I was like, because you're so used to like the other environment, because out there it's another home, but it feels so different. And I come back and I'm like, I don't remember what I felt like in this room before we left to Florida. So it's like, you have to rediscover. And like I feel like I did that through cues, like playing video games. I'm like, oh yeah, so this is what it feels like playing games here, or going through the regular routine. But it was weird because that doesn't usually happen, and I do feel like the high workload of the year has something to do with that.
Yeah, the whole mental health aspect of it is something I've dealt with for the past few years, in various ways. And yeah, I sort of had to learn to identify cues and just almost like they're like waves or just patterns, you know. I get that kind of dissociative state where if I'm fairly deep in, say, a depressive episode, do you ever watch Sin City, that old movie?
No, I haven't
It's
seen
old
that
now.
one.
Oh, okay.
Zack
but
Snyder.
Yeah. Like there's a line that Bruce Willis says that he's taken like a bazillion shots, and he just says to himself, "On your feet, old man." I'm like, no, dude, lie down. Okay, it's okay. You don't have to keep going. But when I'm in like a depressive episode, I've just got that. I got the Bruce Willis voice, and it's like, "On your feet, old man." And then it's just like automatic. All right, if I just pull the sheets off, then I can get out of bed. If I just put one foot in front of the other, I can get to the door and I can open the door. But everything is a conscious thought, you know? And that's generally when it's the worst of it. Everything is sort of on autopilot, but it's almost like I'm non-responsive and I've just got to, pluck up the energy just to do the thing that comes after the other thing. And like those times are the hardest. But like, yeah, it's taken a long time to sort of recognize that. And yeah, unfortunately, the older I get, even recognizing it, sometimes it's like, okay, you know what? Instead of that, I'm just going to give myself a timeout. Today's going to be a write-off. Today's in bed. Tomorrow I'll feel better, and then I can maybe function on a maybe human level or something like that.
What you're saying there about tomorrow you'll feel better, especially like again coming out of jet lag, like sleep is such a massively important thing for like your mood, like just throughout the day. It's insane. Because I noticed that
yeah.
the more sleep I get, the better I feel generally, and it sounds like really common sense, but like I feel like we really take it for granted.
Becoming a parent, Markom knows, that really messes up your sleep schedule like nothing else. And that was a huge, huge trigger for me. Just like losing sleep. Because, like, you know, you got different patterns, and then obviously you've got other responsibilities, and you've got to sort of look out for these two little humans and work to their schedule for the first few years. And that's always hard, and it's necessary. But yeah, it messes up your sleep schedule. I mean, I'm still waking up. Yeah, I'd like do little blocks of sleep. So if I'll work till I'm really, really tired that I can't keep my eyes open anymore. That way I know that I'm just going to crash as soon as I hit the pillow. Otherwise, if I choose a bedtime, I am lying there literally for hours, just not doing anything, just thinking, I could be productive right now. And that's probably the worst thing I can do, because then that turns into 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'm like, right, gotta get up. No, now I'm sleepy. Ah, crap. And so then I crash, and then the day's gone. Yeah.
We
All right,
Ellie
it's
and
8
I were
o'clock in the
talking.
morning. I got to go to work.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's got to go.
See you, Marko.
All right.
See you, Malcolm.
Thanks, guys.
Good to
Bye.
catch you. Bye.
Likewise. Talk later. Bye.
Ciao. Ellie and I were talking the other day about this specifically because it's tricky to get to a point where you're lying in bed right before sleeping and actually just stop problem solving and actually just go the F to sleep. Like the title of the book. I like to let my brain go into like wallpaper mode, screensaver. So I'll start to think about places I've been, whose vistas I've really enjoyed, or situation, happy moments. Not necessarily I could have done, because I fall into this all the time. So this is why I have the screensaver trick. I go into this like, I could have done this better, or I could have been more productive on this thing, or maybe the solution to the problem that I was trying to fix was this other thing. And then I'm up. The 11 p.m. becomes 2 a.m. before you know it, and you're just not any more tired, any more sleepy. But I've been trying this thing recently of just like wallpaper mode. And it's hard, just like meditation. You can't kind of tune into it all the time or get into that headspace, but it's definitely helped not go into this overly critical analytical mode right before bed, because that doesn't help. And apparently playing Tetris helps too, like right before bed.
Yes, I got to try that. I got to try that trick because I get sort of an opposite problem where my partner she, as soon as the day's over, then she goes into list mode, and so I'm trying to switch my brain off. And she's like, "Oh, tomorrow, remind me, we got it." And I was like, "No, I don't want to add to my list right now. I want to get to sleep."
Yeah, that's me. I'm usually the, I just had this great idea about something that could be fixed tomorrow, or like, here's this thing that we should worry about, but there's no point in doing it right now. So I'm trying to get out of that too, because sleep is important. Sleep is underrated, even as kind of cliche as that might sound.
Yeah, I noticed that when I go to bed, there's like, I can tell when I'm going to be able to sleep no matter what, and there's usually like a few signs. One of them, again, like is really obvious, is yawning. I have to yawn. If I'm yawning and it's just like involuntary, then I know I'm going to fall asleep like any moment, right? It happens every time before I sleep. And if I'm not yawning and I'm laying down in bed, even if I'm feeling tired, I know that I won't be falling asleep soon. So that's like one cue I know it's going to happen. The other one is like when I'm laying down, I'm daydreaming usually. Like if I've been playing a game, I'll be daydreaming about like the characters or something, and maybe they're like having dialogue. But then I know that it gets like really weird before I fall asleep. So I have much less control over what's going on, like the narrative. So like maybe the environment will start changing, or I won't be able to like really focus in on the conversation. Like it gets really weird and uncontrolled, and then that's usually when I fall asleep. So like if one of those two things are happening, or both, like the yawning and that loss of focus, then I know it's goodbye time. But if neither of that's happening, then, and like if you're in bed for a really long time, like if I'm there for like an hour and neither of those things are happening, then maybe I'll just get up and start reading.
Reading does it for me.
Yeah,
that's my yawning. Yeah. Yep.
So good.
Yep, reading. And it's not even that. I enjoy reading. It's not like I'm reading something that puts me to sleep. But for some reason, that repetitive action of just and then imaginating or ideating just gets me. And I have a tell too, which is not necessarily yawning. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that one because I don't notice if I'm yawning, but that will probably do it. For me, it's when I start, and this is gonna sound out there, but it's when I start hearing voices. I'll start hearing like snippets of conversations from the day or even things that may not have happened, but they're very clear, and it's like people that I know. Sometimes it's you guys if I've talked to you recently. Sometimes it's other people in my day, but I'll just hear like a snippet like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, Marco?
Yeah.
Is that you? And then I stare into the light of sleep and I go.
I get that as well, yeah, like auditory hallucinations. It's very, very interesting and weird. And I think it's just hallucinations in general, maybe not so visual, but I have noticed that, like, at certain points in my life, like, I remember there was one day where I was on, like, 2 or 3 airplanes in a row. I think it was just 2, but it was, like, doing a connecting flight. And, like, all of the day was just, feeling that constant airplane, like, change of, feeling like that. And then when going to bed, when laying down, all of a sudden, I'm just feeling it again, But not when I'm like up and walking around, but just then, because you're kind of hallucinating what you've been experiencing. And again, with the audio stuff, so many times in the past, I've had exactly that, where you're laying down and you can like hear things again. And one of them was a really unfortunate one where like when my cousins were younger and they were so loud, like, and we had them around for like so long during the day, and they're just like shouting and screaming to each other, and I'm laying down at night and all I can hear is like hallucinations of them just like shouting. I'm like, oh god damn it, not right now.
I get the auditory thing. So Arturo, are you saying like you hear them as if they're really there, or you just sort of imagine? Right.
No, it's loud. It's not like I'm imagining that somebody is like, for example, the most recent one I think was my mom. I was having a conversation with her on the phone, and then later that night I just start hearing her saying it's not even it's just random stuff, sometimes it's sentences that aren't really coherent or contextually interesting or just there, but it'll happen. So it's just like if you were drifting off to sleep and you heard me say something like, yeah, sure, that sounds like a good idea. And you're like, what? Why?
Yeah.
But that's when I know. I'm like, I must be really tired. So my brain's doing all this kludging together of different audio cues from the day or just making stuff up, probably trying to induce some form of this kind of, long form hallucination for the next 8 hours or so. But yeah, it's kooky. Sometimes though they'll get me if I'm really tired, and I'll actually wonder if there's other people around. But the tell for me that it was happening for real and that it wasn't just me having some crazy supersonic hearing or something was once in a hotel for work. It was extremely deadly quiet. The hotel was also just very empty, and I heard people just that weren't there. And it wasn't haunted, but it was definitely, a tell for me. I was like, okay, I'm very isolated right now, and I'm hearing people that are definitely not on this trip with me. There's something there.
Yeah. And it was sleep. Sleep was just saying,
and it was sleep and ghosts, but sleep mostly.
I've had it once where like when you're laying down and you're in that mode where clearly like the chemical balances change in your head as you're preparing to like go to sleep, and I was thinking, oh god, I hope I don't start hearing voices like and like whispers and stuff, and then all of a sudden like your brain puts them in and you can start hearing like whispers in the room, and I'm like, okay.
I think this is going to be the episode where people are just going to tune out. Just goes, okay, these people are cray cray. They're just like they're just way too much. So I had to go on medication a couple of years ago for depression, anxiety, and I was actually looking forward to one of the side effects, which was you get crazy dreams, and it didn't happen. Like I got pretty much everything else on the list. I got like nausea, fatigue, weird sense of vertigo, all that sort of stuff. And I was like, no, I just want to just lie down and have really fantastic dreams. And so like the couple of nights where I had these amazingly super awesome adventure dreams, like they were like an epic blockbuster movie type of stuff.
Mm.
I was like, okay, hey, this must have been it. This was it. All right, it's kicked in. Great. That's how I knew they were working, I think.
Weird vivid dreams. I get a lot of them partly because I have like dairy stuff before I go to bed, and I know that's part of the problem, right? So I need to stop doing that. But sometimes it just gets exhausting, because especially if you get woken up in the night, because like your REM sleep is when you dream, right? And a lot of the times, if you're woken up when you're in the REM state, not if you've gone into like deep sleep, but if you're in the REM state and you're woken up, you can remember it quite a lot. And I get woken up quite a bit in this household. So sometimes it's like 2 or 3 sets of dreams. And because like your sense of time really expands in dreams, sometimes it feels like you've experienced more than you've been laying down for. And that's exhausting, like mentally sometimes. Because you wake up in the morning and it's like, God, I've been on like a 2 or 3 day journey, like overnight. And you're like, oh, I don't like that.
I have really crazy dreams sometimes as well, like that feel so real, so there, and wake up feeling exhausted. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you ever have those ones where like you're returning to places and you know you've been there before, right? Because you can remember being there in the dream, but this might sound a bit weird, but once you've woken up, you can't remember the previous times, if this makes sense. So like I've had it
It's like you're overwriting.
Yeah, in a way. So like but
you remember the sensation of revisiting, but you don't remember
the first time.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so
I'll continue without saving.
Yeah, I'll try and describe it again for like for people that really didn't make sense for. So like it's happened like a couple of nights ago. So you go to a place and I'm there with people, and inside the dream I remember being there like 2 or 3 times in the past. I remember dreaming that I was there before. But once I've woken up, thinking about the dream I just had, I can't remember those previous times. But like, because I never wrote those to memory, but somehow I've been able to re-access those memories in the dream again. So it's like you're remembering like this whole chronology of like what you've done in these places.
I get it. I have like, man, it's gonna sound wanky using the phrase dreamscape, but it's almost like or a map, right? There are places that I dream about that I know are like my old childhood home, or like more recently, I've been dreaming about my own home. It's suddenly got, it's obviously mapped in my brain now, but there's a weird combination because there was some similarities with my parents' home, let's say. And so like in the dream, there's this, gestalt home where upstairs, I'm in my house, but as soon as I go down the stairs into the kitchen, it's their house.
Yeah.
But in the dream, it kind of makes sense. I know where I am, and so like that place I will visit a lot. But then if I'm going to say another location, I'll end up accessing the dream version of that in a future dream. I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah, it's weird how like you have all those different locations, like different game levels almost, but your brain somehow manages to merge them and like transition between them in weird ways. Imagine getting like stuck like there, like in that state of mind. I don't know if like people in comas experience that, but I imagine that'd be some like weird form of like maybe torture, I don't know, but like imagine just being stuck permanently in like the weird dream world where you can kind of move between all these places but you can never get out, and it's just always, that would be horrible. I wouldn't want to experience that.
Multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very I've definitely had moments where I'm in the middle of the dream and I realize, wait, this is a dream. And then let's say I'm in a familiar space, which is not always established by like the dream laws. Sometimes it's a real space, and then I'll turn to the left or something. And then what was previously there is not there. And in that realization, I'm like, wait a minute. And then I'm up.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying sometimes because the dreams are great. Sometimes you just want to stay and you're like, wait, hold on. I want to hold on to this and maybe go eat something delicious. But you're up.
Sometimes those locations are just so well fleshed out, even though they're this crazy mishmash, that I almost wish I could just jump in with, say, like a LiDAR and just go, okay, I want to scan this. I want to model this version, this dream version of this place that I just visited, just so that I can show people and say, okay, this is what I mean. and these are the real locations. I'd love to do that, and who knows, someday there'll be like some VR headset that you just put on, and it will lidar scan your dream locations.
Dream visualization would be really, really interesting. Just like put a node, on you, and suddenly you could have a hologram of your dream. That's
yeah, I'd love to be able to.
Do you guys remember that? Do you remember that Google? What was it called? Deep something.
Deep Dream?
Was that what it was called? It was the one that would just generate how Google somehow perceived certain things, and like people would run their profile pictures through it, and they just became these really crazy kind of Mandelbrot type of things. Does anyone remember? Oh man, we'll have to put a link in. But yeah, it was people were doing it. You'd run a photo through this Google app, and it would say, "Well, this is what Google Dream or something." Yeah, it would be like they're using the very early algorithm to generate an image based on how they think neural patterns work. A neural network, Google Neural. Yeah,
something. I think it's something like, I can't remember the name of it right now, but if I remember correctly, it was turning up a bunch of results of cats because it was using a data set that had a lot of images of cats. So suddenly in this hallucinatory, like morphing environment or photo, you just see random cats formed out of like the corner of a bus or something.
Brilliant. I'm sure other people have kind of figured this out, but one of the weird things about dreams again is, like when you try and run, you can't really run. And like, does anyone else get that? You go really slow.
Molasses.
Yeah. And you're like, sometimes you're like dragging yourself around and stuff. And that I've always found that very weird, but I think I kind of understand why now. Because in a dream, I think, your brain, right, it has been hardwired to respond to like physical space and stimulus and like control your body in response to that. So when you're running in real life, you're working on like the physical impacts and forces that you're feeling and that you're sensing. But when you're dreaming, you're laying down and you're not getting any of that. So your brain can only do half the effort, right? Or half the work, which is just your motion part of it. But you're not getting any physical forces back, like it working in that circuit. So I think that's probably why you can't really properly run or like feel like you're running, I'd imagine. Because like,
I put it down to, I've only got like a 1080 in my head and I just can't render fast enough. But someone out there has like a 3090, Curtis, and so you can fly. Okay.
I was gonna say it's a lot cheaper, for the simulation.
Oh right,
It's a lot cheaper on the servers and the rendering to just render without that.
Of course, yeah.
It's just lag. That's all it is. It's lag.
It's input lag.